We continue with the case of Virginia Christian. She was the first female in Virginia who was executed more than a century ago.
And now her story is being retold in a living documentary here in Hampton Roads. Photojournalist Kevin Rahm shows us how that story is being played out.
Luther Chambers, that's my legal name. So I portray Henry Christian, Virginia Christian's father. I get a call from Dr. Jerome Lee. He's a former member of my church, and he's now a pastor of his own church. And he says, I wanted to talk to you about that post you dropped the other day. I said, yeah, what's up? I said, we got a show coming up. He says, that's a relative of mine. He says, I am the great nephew of Virginia Christian. It's his mother's great aunt.
Now the picture that I got, this is my grandma, Virginia's sister, and this is my mother. My name is Sandra Lee Packett, and Virginia Christian was my great aunt on my mother's side. And I'm quite sure everybody got this picture. That's Virginia. She looked like she's afraid. She looked like she realized she had to accept because it wasn't a choice.
And when I saw her picture, and I saw the loss of hope, the hopelessness in her eyes, I was like, I'm gonna tell your story. What happens when you're just a regular girl, 16 years old in 1912, your days consist of washing clothes for people. So somehow this everyday experience escalates to, we go from a disagreement to a murder.
Nobody denied that she did it. The whole thing was she didn't have a choice. And at 17, she could have been in jail and they could send her to prison.
Because of the prominence of the Belote family, they wanted her executed. The governor said right from the start, she was guilty. It was a heinous crime, worst crime he had ever heard of. Her mother has a heartfelt letter that she sent to the governor begging for them to commute her sentence. Nobody was trying to get her off. Everybody knew that she did commit this crime. However, commute her sentence to life in prison as opposed to being executed.
All of it is tragic. The relationship maybe not so good because of the time frame, the era, but what if there was better communication? Would this woman have survived? Would she be electrocuted?
Even though Virginia Christian did commit this murder, my question that I was trying to answer was, what is the positive thing that can come from this? What is something that we can learn from this?
Again, that story by Kevin Rahm, our photojournalist. And a reminder, if you still want to catch the event, it's at the Hampton History Museum, 7 o'clock tonight. We have more information on Virginia Christian on wavy.com.